Why do you not succeed at what you want? We do not succeed at what we truly want in life because we're comfortable with what we have. We're comfortable with who we are. We're in that cocoon, we're in that shell. That gives us that, it's a safety thing. It's actually born out of survival. Our survival mechanism tells us, don't break out of that comfort zone. Stay in that this comfort zone has been designed over thousands and thousands of years during our evolution. So during our evolution, it's in our DNA to say, don't take a risk. Don't take that risk if you lose your life. Don't take that risk because you could harm yourself. Don't take that risk. You could destroy everything you've built over the years. But it's counterproductive because risk is what gives you that breakthrough. Taking that risk is what gets you to the next level. You must take that risk. The thing is, in the beginning, before you take that risk, you got to accept in your own mind that I might crash and burn, as I have many times in my life. I might crash and burn. But the crash and burn, look at it as a positive thing, not a negative thing. The crash and burn is a learning process. The crashing and burning is a learning. It teaches you how to do that same thing better the second time. You're not afraid of failure. You're afraid of losing the vision of who you are. You're afraid of losing the vision of who you are. You're afraid of losing that comfort zone, the walls, the nice cocoon. I'm comfortable in my bed. I'm comfortable with my teddy bear sleeping. It's a comfort zone. And that comfort zone tells our brain that we're safe. It tells our brain that we are safe. So you got to kind of trick your brain and say, I am going to push myself out of my comfort zone. You've got to push yourself out of the comfort zone to be successful. And the people that are successful, that are in their own comfort zone, let's say luck happens. Just life happens. And you're a songwriter, and all of a sudden, boom, you blow up. But your personality, you as a person, are not comfortable with being out of your comfort zone. You eventually will self-destruct. You'll either get into drugs, you'll decide you don't want this anymore, you'll walk away from your career, you may try to sabotage the decisions that have been made for you because it's not your comfort zone. So before you get into anything, focus on your comfort zone. Understand that is a natural trait that we have as human beings. Understand that's in everybody. It's not like, oh, why is that guy successful and I'm not? Why did he get there? Why is he there and I'm not there? He's there because he understands his comfort zone and he doesn't let it bother him. That's why they are there and you're not there. But you can be there. You will be there, and I'm going to tell you how to do it in this video. So we will start with baby steps. Every time you want to kibosh or self-destruct a positive thought, or a different lifestyle, or a different, maybe going to get a different job, or leaving the job that you have, and the minute you think about that, the minute that comes into your mind, let's say a job, let's say you're working a job and you hate this job, you've been working this job for 15 years, and you don't want to be there no more. You don't like your coworkers, you don't like the job, you just feel like you're being used, and you want to leave. How do you do that? How do you get out of that horrible job into a better position, a better career, a better job? How do you do that? By getting out of that comfort zone. Why do I keep doing things for other people I don't want to do? It's your comfort zone. It makes you comfortable. It's easy to do that. It's easier to say, yes, honey, yes, dear. It's easy to say, yes, sir, no, sir, than it is to battle that, than it is to push against that. But you must push against that within yourself in small steps. In small steps. Let's say you go to work and your boss says to you, I want you to go and stack this or do that or do a particular job. And you do not feel comfortable with it. But all the time you've done it. You've done it. You've put up with it. You've done it. Push back. Don't let the fear control you. Don't let the fear in the back of my, oh, I might get demoted. I might not get my raise. I might lose my job. I might lose my hours. That's going to happen anyway. That happens anyway. Corporations don't care about you. They care about the bottom line. Think about that first. So when your boss says to you, I want you to go stack these things here, and let's say you have a certain health issue and you don't want to be on the ladder, or you just don't want to do that work. Tell them, I have a concern about doing this particular kind of work. I really don't want to do it. And don't be fearful of the pushback. Because most of the time, there won't be any pushback. And once that happens, and once you get that validation, once you get that success, that small success, then you can push it further. You can push it further. You can say, I hate this job. I don't want to be in this job anymore. And every morning when you get up, before you have your cup of coffee, before you have your breakfast, sit down and say to yourself, why am I in this job? What validates me in this job? What gives me purpose in this job? What gives me value in this job? And make a list of all those things and say, this job is not giving me value. The only thing that this job is giving me is a paycheck. And if that's the only reason you're being there, I get it. But there are a million jobs you can do just to get a paycheck. So let's start with baby steps. Let's say it's a job. And you want to be out of this job. You've hated this job for years. You want to be out of this job. What would you do? What would you do to beat your subconscious mind and not deal with that fear about, oh, I'm going to be out of work. I won't be able to pay my bills. Fear, 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 fear. Don't live in fear. It is the fear that holds us back. It's not necessarily the fear. It's the fear of the unknown that holds us back. And don't see the unknown as a fear. See the unknown as an opportunity. Don't see the unknown as a fear. You're not walking into a dark room. You're not walking into a dark room. You're walking towards the light. You're not walking in a dark room. You're walking toward the light. See it that way. Don't see it as being I'm stuck in a dark room. I'm stuck in a box. I'm stuck. You're not stuck. If you take action upon your decision, you're not stuck. Even if your action doesn't change your present life immediately, it's a start. It's a start. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams. That's all and good. But if you look at Taylor Swift or anybody that is that successful, she has accepted her success. She didn't see it as a goal. She didn't just look at it as, that is my only goal, to be a superstar. Success is a daily practice. Get that in your mind. Success is not a destination. Like when I remember when I was a little boy, I was about 9 years old. We lived in New York. And I was watching Elvis Presley on TV. I didn't know who he was. I was 9 years old, but I was seeing this guy singing on TV. And I started to emulate him. And I would take a wooden spoon and I'd jump from furniture to furniture, singing like Elvis Presley, wigging around, jumping around. And that set that in motion in my mind that was success. That point was success. The reason I thought that way is because everybody thinks that way. Everybody thinks that way. And every time you see somebody successful, you see their pinnacle. You see where they are. You don't see the road to where they got. You see where they are. So you see success as that pinnacle. That's success. That's a successful man. That's a successful singer, because that's where he is. Taylor Swift's successful because of where she is. No, she is successful because of what she does. Now we're at the heart of this video. The end game for success, to be successful, is not the destination. It's the practice. I have it in my notes. Success isn't a destination. It's a daily practice of being okay with the unknown. Success isn't a destination. Even though we put a pin on the wall, we put a marker on our mind, like that's when I'll be successful. That's when I'll be successful. It's like when you see YouTubers and they're very successful. And you say, oh, they're successful. Well, they're successful because of their journey, not because of the destination. The destination doesn't make you successful, because you could get to the destination and crash and burn and go all the way back down again. Many people do, because they don't accept the fact that success is a daily practice. Success is a daily practice of believing in that process. We think of success as the end journey, as the end game, but actually it's the beginning of a higher level of accountability to ourselves. We think success is the end of the journey, but it's actually the beginning of a higher level of accountability to ourselves. So, we've been, in our society, we've been brainwashed to believe that, oh, he has a lot of money, he's successful, that's the top. He's a famous singer, he has had a dozen hits, he's got platinum records all over his wall, he's at the top. That's not success. Because if they get there, if they get to that pinnacle, they get to that point, and they crash, or they commit suicide, or they get into drugs, or they give up, or they don't continue their success, they're not a success. They're a failure. They've gone all the way to, because if you go all the way to the top, excuse me for saying, it's hot in here. If they go all the way to the top and they crash and burn, or they give up, or they commit suicide, or they walk away from it all, is that success? You can say, well, they got there. Well, what's the point? They got there. What's the point? They're there, but they can't keep what they have. So, success is not the destination. Success is the practice of being okay with the unknown. So, in essence, in order to see success, not to be successful, in order to have success on a regular basis, small or big successes, you must redefine your identity. You must redefine your identity. You must redesign your identity, not just define it. But you must redesign your identity, your internal identity. What is your identity? Who are you as a person when you see yourself? So we need to start to redesign your identity and redefine your identity. And your identity from now on is going to be I see success as taking responsibility to believing that is possible. Success is not a destination. It's not a final destination. It is a constant work in progress every day to believe in that you are successful. In everything that you do, the small things, it can be the smallest, it's being at work, washing your car, cleaning the house, making a good meal. Be successful. Start being successful at the small things. See that success during the journey of the small things. Then the bigger things will unfold for you. Start seeing small successes. Like, let's say you're going to walk your dog. I'm going to walk the dog today. Okay, that is a start. But see that as a successful activity. Enjoy the activity. Don't be walking the dog and think like, oh, I got to get done, so I got to get back. I got to get the dog out. We got to get done, so I got to get back to go back to what I'm doing. Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment with the dog walk. Stay in the moment with spending time with your pet, spending time with your kids. Stay in those moments. If you stay in those moments, the success will come. The success will come. It's not the grind. It's not the dreaming. It's not seeing that North Star and I want to be there someday. That's all fantasy. That's all movies. It used to be, well, I believe in that, and I'm going to get there, and I'm going to get. They got there because they took small steps of success during the journey. See it as a staircase. There is a staircase, like Stairway to Heaven. There is a staircase to your final destination, but don't see it as a final destination. It's like an escalator; it just keeps going around and around and around and around. It's not a stagnant staircase where you get a one step, and then you are there. It doesn't work that way. Sorry for my patting. It's hot as hell in here. So see yourself see it as you're on an escalator. You're on an escalator. You step on the first step of the escalator and it's going up. And every time the step disappears, that's more success. And that's more success. And that's more success. And when you get to the top, you're not going to the bottom. You're just going to keep going. You're going to keep going, keep going, keep going. Take those small steps. Stop seeing success as a destination. Okay, here's another example. You want to take a vacation. You want to take a vacation with the kids and the family, right? You want to go to, let's say you want to go to Canada. We're going to go from Florida to Washington State, to Oregon. We're going to go to Oregon. You want to make it a successful journey, not a successful destination. Don't think of anything as a destination. Think of everything as the journey. Don't think of anything as I know the destinations in the back of your mind. It is with me. I have a destination in the back of my mind about my YouTube channel blowing up. And it will. But I don't think about it every day. I think about the process. So think about when you're on vacation with the kids. You throw them in the car. Well, you put them in the car. You put them in the car. And you're leaving. And all the stops along the way are those little successes for the main purpose. All those stops along the way make them successful. The first motel visit, you go in the pool, you have a good dinner. Getting up in the morning, getting ready to go, and as you go through state after state of state, play games with your kids. Say, okay, we're going to be going through Oregon. We're going to be going through New Mexico. We're going to be going through Texas. And every time you see the sign, the first one to see the sign, welcome to Texas, or welcome to Arizona, or welcome to California, you're going to win $1. Yell it out. Oh, we're in California. We're in Mexico. See that as a success. See that journey, that car trip, that vacation as a success, not the destination. The destination is what's pulling you through to the success. The destination is what's pulling you to the success. The destination, believing in the destination, the North Star, is what's pulling you through to that success. If you're in your car with your kids and you're driving to Wisconsin, and all you're thinking about is, when are we going to be there? When are we going to be there? When are we going to be? All you're thinking about is the North Star, is the destination. If the only thing you think about, all that space between the start and the finish, all the amazing things that are happening along the way that you're looking at out the window, when you stay at the hotel, when you go out to dinner, all these things that you do, even when you stop for gas, all the things that you do along the way, you have lost that in your life. You've lost that in your life if all you think about is that destination, that success. What is success? It's the destination. The destination, not success. The destination is the journey. Success is the journey. Success is accepting the journey. When you accept the journey, that end game will happen. You'll finally be there. How many times have you seen famous people, famous speakers, famous actors, famous singers, famous recording artists say, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. I've got platinum records. I'm famous. I'm selling out concerts. I can't believe I'm here. They can't believe they're there because they didn't enjoy the journey to get there. But now they're there. Are they going to enjoy themselves being there now? Are they going to enjoy it? Are they going to want more? I'm going to want more and going to want more, and always reaching for that and reaching for that and reaching for that. The reach is not living. The reach is not satisfying. The reach is not fulfilling. The reach is not success. The reach is just the beginning. It is the journey that is the success. As the kids in the car with Dad, driving to Wisconsin or driving across the country, make the journey the success. Make the journey the success. So many YouTubers, people that want to be YouTubers, fail because all they see is the end game. And I know I talk about in my philosophy, focus on the end game. Yes, you need to focus on the end game to pull you forward. See it as a rope. You're taking a rope, and you're taking that rope, it's like elastic, you're taking that rope and you're throwing it out and you tie it on a pole. That's where you want to be, yes. But without that rope, without you pulling that rope and being part of that rope, pulling yourself towards that pole, you will not get there. It is the rope that gets there. It's the road that gets you there. It is the path that gets you there. It is the dream that gets you there. It is the all small successes and failures that get you there. And if you do not stop and focus on each step of the way, like I said with the escalator, or driving with the kids in the car, if you do not do that, you'll be like that rock star or that actress or that actor that says, I can't believe I'm here. I got to pinch myself. I can't believe I'm here. Because they didn't enjoy the journey. They did not enjoy the journey. They only saw the outcome. And I know I say to you, I've said this a million times in my book, focus on the outcome. And you must focus on the outcome for the pathway to open. You must focus on the outcome for the road to be clear. You must focus on the outcome for the waves to open, for the ocean to be right for you to sail. You must focus on the outcome. But just as important, You must be in the present moment before you can be successful. You must be in the present moment, who you are, what you want to be, what your dreams are. You must be who you are in the present moment in order to create that success, create that pathway, create that road, or clear that road. So success is not a destination. Success is taking the responsibility of all the small steps that you got to do to get to that point. And I hope to God, when you do get to that point, you don't say to somebody or to yourself, wow, man, how did I get here? Look at this. I'm a multimillionaire. I'm making tons of money. I'm famous. I'm a famous writer. I'm a famous songwriter. I'm a famous actor. How did this happen? Was it luck? You put in the work, you did the work, and you got there. But the sad part about that is, if you look back, will you have fond memories of the struggle? We do not fear success. We don't. We fear the outcome. We don't fear what we want. We fear what we might get. We don't fear what we want. We fear what we might get. Also, we might fear what we do get. Even if we want it, we might get it and say, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I'm now super famous, and I got paparazzis look in my backyard and jump in the fence trying to take pictures of me. I have no more privacy. I'm not sure if this is what I really really what I wanted, but you're there. So, recap. How do you get to be successful in anything you want to do? Simple as doing a puzzle, taking a trip with the kids across the country, or being a superstar in the music business, or famous actor, or famous politician, or whatever, or a famous inventor, or a famous scientist. How do you achieve that? First, yes, you see the North Star, you see the end game, you get that in your mind. That's where I belong. That's where I am going to get to. But you want to worry about the journey as you're doing it. You want to enjoy the journey as you're doing it. You want to build and build and build as you are doing it. Success is the journey. Success is not the destination. Success is the journey. If you were to look at Thomas Edison or Einstein, Thomas Edison would go into his garage. He'd go in his garage. In his mind, he thought, I know there's a way to make light. There's a way to make light so we can see at night. I know there's a way to do this. That was his North Star. But he worked his ass off every day to try to figure it out. And he enjoyed tinkering, enjoyed the journey of doing it. Next thing you know, boom, I got a light bulb. I made a light bulb. Should I tell anybody about this? I made a light bulb. Watson, we can see at night now. How do we do that? It was the process. Success comes in the process, and accepting the responsibility of that success as you build. I'm going to go. Love you guys. This is all in the Book of Common Point. You want to buy a copy of my book? Contact me. We'll figure it out. You have a great day. Hope this video helps you. Success is in the journey, not the destination. Get close to the camera. Success, your success, is in how you handle the journey. If it's a job, if it's a vacation, if it's a marriage, if it's a building a house, if it's traveling, if it's writing a book, or maybe writing a song. The success is in the journey, not in the outcome. but you must focus on the outcome for that successful journey to happen. You must focus on the outcome for that successful journey to happen. I'm going to go. See you guys. Bye now.